Hello there, thanks for joining me once again at my tying bench. And the fly I'm going to tie for you this time around is a variation on the woolly worm fly. The original woolly worm that you usually see has a black chenille with a red tail, and I changed it up a little bit. I'm using a black krystal chenille for the body, and a little bit of black marabou and black krystal flash in the tail, just to make it a little more flashier and just something different to try. And I thought you might like to see this guy tied up, so I'll get him a device, a new hook in, and I'll get started here. I'm using a mustad 3906B in a size 8 for the hook this time. So get that locked down in the vise here. And this guy's weighted, and I'm using 0.15 lead wire. And I'll put a fair amount of wraps on here. Get that down on the shank. Okay, go a few more turns the other way. Okay, I'd say probably about 20 wraps is right there, I would say. Okay, so next I'll start my thread on. I'm using UTC 70 in a black. So we'll start in front of that lead there, and then we'll jump on top, work down the back, little thread down behind, back up again, and then back down. And I'll trim off that excess tip there, the thread. Alrighty, now the tail is just a little tuft of black marabou, and I'm just going to pull a little small amount off here, off of marabou palm. Just like so here. And I'll trim the ends there. And we'll tie that in right behind the lead here, catch that in. And wrap back towards the barb a ways here, and we'll stop there, then wrap that forward, binding that all down. And as obvious that's way too long, what I like to do is just pinch that, and I want it a little bit longer than the hook gape, so then I'll come in, just pull that off. There we go, actually a little bit shorter than that, so I'll come in again, just give that another little pull. Okay, that should be fine. Now, I just want a little bit of krystal flash in the tail. Not too much, so I just take one strand and just tie that in there, catch it on top. Then I'm just going to fold it back. And that just gives 2 strands going across the top there. Didn't want to put too much flash in this guy. Snug that down good and tight, and we'll trim that to the length of the tail. Okay, next is the wire rib, and I have some UTC small copper wire here. I'm just going to snip off a section of that. Okay, I'll tie that in here, sort of catch that in underneath like so. Wrap back to just in front of the tail. Okay, bind that all down. Then we're going to wrap forward to where we want to tie off the body. Alrighty, now, like I was saying, the body I'm using some black krystal chenille instead of the regular black chenille that you see on woolly worms. So I'm just going to tie that in here, catch that in on top, and wrap that back to right in front of the tail. Then wrap forward once again, securing that down nice and tight. Alrighty. Now, what I'll do, like I generally do, is take a little bit of head cement here for some durability and run a little bead along the top of that before I wrap the body up. Okay, now we'll begin to wrap that. So, just take our first wrap in front of the tail. What I like to do is just stroke them fibers back each wrap I do on this krystal chenille. I just find the body lays down better that way. We just pull those fibers back with each wrap, just like so. Just keep wrapping forward here. Okay, we're almost to where we want to tie off. This should be the last wrap right here. And I'll come in and tie that off. A couple in front and behind, then we'll wrap forward on that. And then I'll come in and snip off that nice and close there. Alright, then we'll secure that down with several tight wraps. Alrighty, there's our body. Okay, just going to trim a few fibers underneath there. There we go. Okay. Now, next is the hackle, and I have a soft grizzly hackle here, soft saddle hackle on the side there. I got a nice webby hackle here for this, and I'm going to tie that in right here. Concave side facing back. And we'll wrap that stem forward, then I'm going to fold back on it to trap it in there real good so it doesn't go anywhere. And I'm just going to give that a little pull and pull that off. Alrighty, so next we'll begin to wrap our hackle here, palm of that back. So we'll make one wrap here at the front. Then we'll just slowly work that back. And I'm just going to grab my hackle pliers here. Okay, there we go. It's a good and buggy little fly. Okay, and I'm going to bring that chenille around, or excuse me, that wire around, and I'm going to catch that once I get this straightened around here. Okay. Come around, catch that tip with a couple wraps. Just like so. Release the pliers. Alright, then I'm just going to wiggle that wire through as I wrap forward. Try not to trap too many of those hackle fibers, but if you trap a few, it doesn't hurt anything. Okay, then we'll come up and tie this wire off. A couple wraps behind it, like so. Then I'll fold it back. And I'll wrap back on it. Just like so. Alrighty, then we'll give it a little helicopter here and helicopter that off. Next, I'll come back and trim out that grizzly hackle tip at the rear here. Snip that guy out. Alrighty. So all we got left to do now is just tidy up the head here and a wet finish, and it's the done deal. Just a few more wraps here. Okay. Just covering up that wire that we tied down. Alrighty. Now I'm going to come in with a whip finish on this guy. Get 4 or 5 turns. Okay, that's fine. Snug that down tight. Snip off the excess. And there we have it. Another size 8 crystal woolly worm. Black crystal woolly worm. And you can tie it in a variety of colors, of course. Whatever color of crystal chenille you got, you could change the body up and then match it with the marabou and the crystal flash in the tail. And I tie them smaller than this as well. You can tie them down to like a size, I'd say 12. Okay, so I'm just going to take a little bit of my solar res bone dry to put on the head of this fly. So I'll come in and go around here, cover up them thread wraps, let it soak in a bit. Give it a nice durable hit on this guy so that it doesn't come apart. Okay, give that a little turn. And I'll hit that with the light. Secure it up real quick here. Okay. There, it's a done deal. So, I hope you give this one a try. Add a few to your box, and I want to thank everyone for watching out there. And if this is your first time seeing my videos and you'd like to see more, don't forget to hit that like and the subscribe button. Appreciate that a great deal. And until next time, people, happy tying. I'll see you again soon. Stay safe, and so long for now, folks.